Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. I have a fun video for you all today. I don't know about you all, but Google and Amazon know that I am a gardener, and they keep sending me advertisements. Whenever I go on Amazon to buy something, they will send me these funky seed starting gadget advertisements for me to buy these things. And I have to admit, I've been intrigued. None of these are very expensive, but I'm kind of afraid they're going to be a complete waste of whatever money I did spend on them. But I figured I would try them out so that I could see how they worked so that you didn't have to. So let me show you some of the things that I have today. So first off, I have my Bootstrap cell trays, 6 cell trays. And you guys know I love these things. I use them all the time. I also have the bigger ones. These are the 3-inch pots that you can see I have my tomato seedlings growing in, and I'm really enjoying them. So this is a seed starting gadget I wanted to add in just to show you all. It's something that I've tried, it's something that I've used, and I've recently learned that they have color matching plant tags. So that's a game changer for me, because one of the cool things that I love the most about Bootstrap Farmer is the different colors, just because it helps me keep my seeds kind of in order if I forget to label them. So those are the seed starting trays that I'm going to be using today. Then let me show you some of the funky gadgets that I got off of Amazon. I had a lot of fun finding these and picking them out. So first of all, I have this Seedmaster vibrating seed spreader is what it was called. And basically what it is, it's a little like trowel type of thing that you put the seeds in this area right here. And then it came with different sized kind of barriers, I think depending on how big your seed is. And then what you do is you just use your thumb to do that. This is what they consider vibrating, which I thought was kind of funny. And then apparently it's supposed to have the seed come out one at a time and make it easier for you to sow seeds. I have noticed that a lot of these seed starting gadgets seem to be for people with limited dexterity or limited, Jason, what am I trying to say? Fine motor?
Dexterity's right.
Dexterity, yeah. So people who have trouble getting the tiny little seeds and sowing one by one. And so I think that there is a place for seed starting gadgets like this, especially if you have trouble with fine motor skills. It's just a matter of if these work. The next set that I ended up getting was a mini seed spreader, and it came with all 6 of these things right here. It came with these mini type of plungers that you apparently fill the seeds in here. And then one by one, as you push down, it's supposed to have one seed go out at a time. And from what I could tell, this is supposed to be for smaller seeds. If they're going to work for seeds as small as like Digitalis or Snapdragon, I don't know, but we will try them out today. Then I got these type of things, which you just fill them with your seeds, and then you turn this dial as to whatever, either how many of the seeds you want to come out or whatever size of the seed you want to come out. So I'll see how those work. This was probably the most common gadget I found, and it seemed that when I was reading the reviews, it seemed that a lot of people actually thought that this one was pretty helpful. So I'm interested to try that one out. The next seed starting gadget was kind of a splurge for what it seems like it is, but it was one of those things that I kept getting advertisements for, so I had to try it, and this was the perfect excuse for me to try it. And that was this FLAIROSOL BOTANICA mister, basically. So it's basically a mister, so if you have seeds that you have to surface sow and you want to water them, but you don't want to displace them while you're watering, this is supposed to help with that. This was about 20 bucks, this water bottle. And now that I can feel it in my hands, I can already say I'd be shocked if it's worth it. I haven't sprayed it yet. I haven't done it yet. I'm gonna do it on camera. But I can already feel, I think that this one might not be worth it. So the next gadget that I have to show you is something that I've actually seen before. I've actually seen it in like gardening books and gardening magazines, and I wouldn't call it kind of like a junky waste your money gadget. It's just a matter of if it's something that you want to do. And what this is, this little dowel and kind of seat for the dowel. It's called a pot maker, and this thing is supposed to allow you to make seed starting pots out of newspaper, and they're supposed to be biodegradable. So I've always been kind of interested in this. I've even seen kind of bigger ones than this. My hesitation on this, and one of the reasons why I wanted to try it, was to see, one, how well the pots stay together, but then two, how easy it is to fill those pots with seed starting mix. It's so easy for me to just get one of these trays and scoop up some seed starting mix and tap it on my bench. I'm kind of hesitant and a little bit interested in how these biodegradable newspaper pots will do. I also am kind of wondering how long they're going to hold up. Like if you had a seed like Lysianthus that takes a really, really long time to grow, how well these newspaper pots are going to hold up. But I thought I would try it out just so you guys can see, because I do like the concept. I think it's a fun concept. And then the very last one was just kind of a silly one that I've seen before. These things are... they're almost like little thimbles that you put on your fingertips, and they have blades at the end, and they're supposed to make it easier for you to be able to pinch your seedlings. So, but I can already almost, Jason's laughing behind the camera. They're pretty silly. And I have seen the ones with the gloves and they're on all fingers. These ones I got are just kind of thimbles. I think these are going to be a waste of your money, but that's the point of this video, is I will try it so you don't have to. So the first gadget I'm going to try out is the Seedmaster Vibrating Seed Spreader. And what I have is I have pepper seeds to try out. So I do think the size of the seed is going to matter on whether or not these are useful or successful at seed starting. Kind of what I'm looking at is I'm looking to see how much easier this makes it versus just doing it by hand, while thinking about those people that have dexterity issues, of course. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking the Seedmaster trowel, and it comes with these barriers and they have numbers on it. This one says 4, and I think I'm going to try 1, which seems like it's the smallest one. If you can see at the very tip, there's kind of like a little notch, which I'm assuming is where the seed comes out of. So I'm going to put that in, and then we'll try out these pepper seedlings. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see if I can get one at a time to come out into the seed starting tray. So I'm just going to pour them in like that, and then and they just go right through. So that didn't work. Let me try it again. Okay, ready? I would say no, maybe a bigger seed. Let me try a bigger seed and see if that makes it. So the pepper seeds did nothing, didn't work even on the smallest barrier. Let's try sunflowers. I feel like this barrier is too small for the sunflowers. Okay, so you can see they're just in like that. It's too small. So I guess the trick is finding a barrier that's the right size for your seed. Maybe if you were like a flower farmer and you did thousands of the same seed, that might help. This might make it worth it. All right, ready? No, that's too small. I mean, that's 4. Okay. I'm gonna say no to this because sunflower seeds were too big for the biggest barrier, and pepper seeds were too small for the smallest barrier. So yeah, that doesn't help. So let's try gadget number 2. Okay, so gadget number 2 is this little plunger type thing. You can see I put the seeds into it. I did read from somebody that the right way to use this thing is you have to have like a little gasket right here at the end. Mine didn't come with a gasket, so it was like a little rubber circle gasket thing. Mine didn't come with that, so I don't know. I'm gonna try and get 1 or maybe 2 of these pepper seeds into the seed starting tray. Okay. This thing sucks. Seed starting gadget number 2 sucks. So for the third gadget, it's one of these little spreaders. And this is probably what I have the highest hopes for, just based on the reviews that I read off of Amazon. So what I'm using for this one is I'm using some stock seed. So let me show you the size of stock seed. And again, I really do think that the size of seed matters, but I'm having a really, really hard time matching the size of seed to the gadgets that I have, which I don't think makes my life any easier at all, which is what these things are supposed to do. Okay, so what I'm doing with this stalk, I put it into the seed spreader, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start it off on the number 1 notch. So you can see that there's a number 1 right there, and it's the smallest notch. I'll close it. And I think for this one, you're just supposed to shake it. Here, let me move this. Okay, so goal is 1, maybe 2 seeds per. Oh, this is kind of nice. Can you see what I'm doing? Mm-hmm. Ah, actually, I kind of like this. I mean, it's not perfect. I would say if you have good dexterity, probably your fingers are better. But if you have poor dexterity or you have difficulty, you know, picking up with your fine motor skills or something like that, I don't think this is too bad, honestly. Let me try sunflower seeds with this one. Okay, so because sunflower seeds are bigger, I'm going to use a bigger notch or number on this thing. I'm trying to figure out which size. 3, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to use number 3 for these sunflower seeds. Just like that. Okay. And then shake it. You see what's happening? Well, 1, it's getting stuck down here. Maybe not. Oops. Okay. Well, maybe this isn't the best thing for bigger seeds like sunflower seeds, but when it comes to smaller seeds like the stalk seeds, I don't think it would work with very, very tiny seeds like foxglove seeds or snapdragon seeds, but medium-sized seeds, if you had difficulty with it, this might help. I would say for these plasticky ones, for me, it's a big no. It's not worth it. It's easier for me just to use either a toothpick, right? You can get a toothpick, put a little bit of water, a little bit of spit if you don't care about that, and get a seed on, and then put it in your seed starting tray. That's cheap. I wouldn't even call that a gadget. That's easy, or just using your fingers. If you have dexterity issues, you might want to try this one out. This one was okay, passable. This one was a piece of junk. And this was an absolute piece of junk. So now I'm going to move on to this fancy water bottle that cost me about 20 bucks. It does feel very plasticky. I got the bigger one because I thought I don't want to keep filling it up all the time. There is a smaller one with less of a volume for water in it. One of the reasons for using this was to spray your plants, which I think would be really helpful, or to spray your seedlings. So I have not sprayed this yet. This is the very first time. I don't know if I need to pump it. Let's try. Kind of cool. Can you see that on camera? Yeah. So I think they even called this a continuous fine mist water bottle. I think that's why I was interested in it. It's cool. It's neat. It sprays for a long time. It's so much better than those glass ones with the little plunger type things. I hate those. I never use those. But if you were going to use these to water in your seedlings, I could see it's not bad. Can you see that? Yeah. My lovely sown. What were these? Stalk? Yeah. I will not be growing these on, you guys, just so you know. I don't know. It's not bad. It's better than a regular water bottle, I would have to say. It's definitely not continuous. You still have to pump it with your finger. It's fine. It's very expensive for what it is. You know, it's to spray your plants, which I think is probably its best use. To give your plants a nice mist over their leaves. Oh, maybe you need to do that. Oh. You see that?
That's better.
That's not bad.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's not bad. Okay. Actually, I kind of like that. I don't think it's worth 20 bucks, but user error, you guys. I mean, you still have to use it. You have to squeeze it. It's not like an automatic spray bottle that will just automatically spray for you. You do have to pump it. But actually, this is kind of cool. Now that I'm doing it like that, can you see what I'm doing? Like, I keep pumping it.
It worked.
That's kind of nice. Okay, I apologize for the mean words I said about this. Okay, so let's move on to our pot maker right here. You're supposed to cut strips of your newspaper a little bit longer than the length of the pot right here. So just a couple inches wide, maybe 3 to 4 inches wide. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut those strips. And you want it to hang over about 1 inch on the bottom, because that is where you are going to kind of flip it over. Okay, and then what you're supposed to do is you're just supposed to roll it like that. And then at the bottom, you're just supposed to fold it in. And then after you've folded it in, you take your base and you put it down and you kind of push it in, twist it, and then carefully, maybe I did it too tight. Ah! Carefully pull the dowel thing out. Not great. Let me try again. Okay. This is the hardest part, getting this off. There we go. Okay. So there's one. I have a feeling this is user error, you guys. Oh. Maybe practice, right? Maybe you want to practice something like this. I think it would be 1,000 times easier if you were worried about, you know, not wasting plastic and stuff like that. Invest in a soil blocker, because I think a soil blocker is way better than using something like this. Soil blockers are super, super useful. And if you're going to do massive amounts of seed starting, I would recommend using a soil blocker, because it is so helpful and it makes it so you can start so many seeds and you don't need all these cell trays. These to me are the easiest to work with and I like using them the best. So I always end up using these, but a soil blocker does work. These are, I think once you got the hang of making these paper things, I think it would be easier, but you know, just be forewarned. Okay, so the very last gadget I have to review for you guys is, or are these little dangerous blade finger thingies.
You kind of look like Wolverine. You look kind of dangerous.
These are ridiculous. These are stupid. So I've seen these before. I've seen the glove version too. And what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to make it easy for you to pinch. I feel like I'm going to stab myself, honestly. They're supposed to make it easy for you to pinch your seedlings or even go and like deadhead your roses or something like that. It's supposed to make it easier. As I'm sitting here with these on, the first thing that I notice is that they're huge. They're absolutely massive. And I can feel myself kind of holding them onto my fingers. So if I was to turn my hand upside down, like to go down like I'm pinching seedlings or some leaves or some deadheading or something, I feel like they're gonna slip off of my fingers really easily, which is not helpful at all. Anyway, I don't have any seedlings right now to pinch, but I do have this geranium that I can come and kind of clean up a little bit. So let's see what happens when I do this. So I'm just gonna come in and I'm gonna try and take this leaf off here. So first of all, I can feel myself, I'm using my middle finger to keep the pointer one on. And then, that was kind of intense, but it worked. Oh gosh. This is just, it just is silly. It did come with these things. Are these the type of things that you're supposed to, but I'm wondering, is it like this?
I don't think so.
That's gonna stab me if I do that. I would just say no. Okay, so that's going to be it for me testing these seed starting gadgets. I would say in all, I would stick with regular seed starting trays. I mean, this is me personally. I would stick with regular seed starting trays, regular tags, and a really good garden marker. This is one gadget that I would say is worth it, not using a Sharpie and using a garden marker. Jason asked me, he was getting my pen to come outside for this, and he said, should I just get a Sharpie? And I said, no, get my garden marker. So I realized this is a gadget, but it is actually worth it. It makes a big difference in the garden from marking your seedlings and marking your plants. So definitely that. This spray bottle is, it's okay. If you really need a spray bottle, go with that one. And then maybe the seed spreader if you have any dexterity issues. Otherwise, any of the other stuff, I would say no, but that's okay. It's fun to try this stuff out anyway. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I will put the links to all this stuff in the description down below if you end up wanting it. And I hope you have a chance to get in your garden today.